When Foundation Season 3 dropped the reveal of that strange, haunting robot skull, fans everywhere froze. What was this ancient head doing buried beneath the Empire's history? Was it just a creepy Easter egg, or a massive clue to the true nature of Demerzel, the Cleons, and the secret war between humans and machines? In this video, we're diving deep into the theories around the skull, connecting the dots from Asimov's books, the show's hidden foreshadowing, and what it could mean for Season 4. Because the robot skull isn't just a prop, it might be the single biggest hint about the galaxy's future. The skull appears almost like a relic, hollow eyes, metallic structure, and clear signs of being far older than the current Empire. It's not treated as a casual artifact, but as something forbidden, something dangerous. The show lingers on it long enough to tell us it matters. The camera frames it as though it's not just dead metal, it's history staring back at us. And when an object is filmed with that much weight, it's a narrative promise. So the question is, what exactly are we looking at? Who was this skull once attached to, and why has it survived when nearly all other machines have been wiped out? The most immediate theory is that the skull connects directly to Demerzel. After all, she is the last known surviving robot under Imperial rule. Could this skull be a remnant of one of her kind, perhaps even one of her siblings from the Robot Wars? This angle makes sense. Demerzel's story has always been framed as one of isolation, bound to serve the Cleons, hiding her true identity, unable to show the galaxy who she really is. It reframes her not just as a loyal servant, but as a survivor of genocide, carrying the trauma and responsibility of an entire erased race. This takes us straight into the Robot Wars theory. In Asimov's lore, robots once guided humanity in secret. They manipulated from the shadows, helping steer civilization's growth. But as humans became suspicious, they rebelled. Wars broke out. Robots were hunted, dismantled, and destroyed. If that skull is real, then it's physical proof that those wars happened in the Foundation universe too. It's a relic of that violent past, a past the Empire has deliberately buried. Why keep it? Possibly as a trophy, possibly as a reminder, or possibly because even in destruction, the skull still holds secrets the Empire fears. Here's another angle. What if the skull isn't just a relic, but a tool of control? Think about it. The Cleons rule through symbols, the spiral on Siwenna, the imagery of the Imperial Palace, the grand rituals of succession. Everything about the Empire is theatrical. It's designed to project power, so what if the skull is a symbol too? A warning to Demerzel, a constant reminder this is what happens to your kind when they rebel. It's not just history, it's psychological warfare, a chain made not of metal, but of memory and fear. But let's stretch further. What if the skull is more than a warning or memory? What if it's still alive in some sense? In Asimov's books, some robots developed incredible levels of intelligence and foresight. They weren't just machines, they were philosophers, scientists, and dreamers. The skull might hold fragments of one of these minds, a kind of archive or black box filled with memories, code, and knowledge. If that's true, then the skull isn't just a trophy, it's a key. Unlock it, and you might access hidden knowledge. Knowledge about the past, about humanity's destiny, maybe even about psychohistory itself. Here's where things get really interesting. Some fans have suggested that psychohistory itself, the grand science Hari Seldon uses to predict the future, might not be entirely original. What if the concept came from robots? Think about it. A machine intelligence calculating probabilities, mapping human behavior, and planning across centuries. That sounds a lot like psychohistory in spirit. The skull could be the missing link, a hint that psychohistory isn't purely Seldon's creation, but a continuation of robotic thought translated into mathematics rather than circuits. If true, the entire Foundation, both the series and the literal project, is built on a robotic legacy we barely understand. So why reveal this skull now? Why not earlier or later? The answer is simple: setup. Foundation thrives on long-term payoff. Season 3 was about collapse, of dynasties, of power structures, of certainty. Season 4 is likely about what rises in the ashes. The most spine-tingling theory is that the skull could have belonged to Giskard Reventlov, or a robot of equal importance and stature. In Asimov's novels, Giskard helped shape the zeroth law of robotics, a principle that allowed robots to act not just for individuals, but for the survival of humanity as a whole. He wasn't just a machine, he was a philosopher, a protector, and ultimately, a martyr. If the skull is Giskard's, or another robot of his level, it would explain why it still responds to melody, why it can clasp with demrzel, and why the show frames it with so much weight. It isn't just a broken relic, it's a fragment of a mind that once carried the burden of humanity's future. And then there's the finale detail. Demerzel's final eye blinks, which some fans claim spell the word transferred in Morse code. If true, that suggests she uploaded her consciousness into the skull, into the remains of a legendary robot designed to serve humanity's greater good. If so, Demerzel may no longer be bound to Cleon's programming. Instead, she could live on inside the skull of a robot sage, whether that's Giskard himself or an equivalent built for the same higher purpose. The skull gives us a clue. If it connects to Demerzel's past, if it hides ancient wisdom, or if it acts as a bridge to something greater, then Season 4 could finally show us the truth about her. We may discover that Demerzel isn't just the last robot. She may be the key to their rebirth. Imagine a season where Demerzel isn't alone anymore, where hidden machines resurface, where the balance of power shifts not between humans, but between species. That's where the skull is pointing us. So let's line it all up. Is the skull just a relic of the robot wars, a reminder of what once was? Is it a tool of control meant to keep Demerzel in check? Or is it an archive, a treasure chest of lost wisdom waiting to be unlocked? Any of these answers could reshape the story, and maybe, just maybe, it's all three. A relic, a weapon, and a key. So what is the robot skull really? A relic of the robot wars? A hidden warning to Demerzel? Or the remains of a machine prophet who once tried to do what Hari Seldon is doing now? Whatever the truth, Foundation has planted a mystery that could shake the galaxy to its core. But what do you think? Is the skull a forgotten comrade of Demerzel, or something far darker? Drop your theory in the comments, and I'll pin the most mind-blowing one. And if you love unraveling these mysteries, make sure to subscribe, because we're just scratching the surface of what Foundation is hiding.